Welcome to the BISP Solutions. So, our today's scenario is amortization of the intangible asset in statement of financial position. What is an intangible asset? Intangible asset is a non-physical, non-monetary asset which is held for use in the production or supply of goods and services or for rental to others. It means intangible asset is an asset which is without any physical substance. These are the assets that may not have any physical substance, but they are still valuable resource for an entity. For example, patent, brand, goodwill, trademark, copyright, knowledge, software, etc. Now, what does amortization actually means? The process of amortization reduces the value of the intangible asset on the balance sheet over time and reports as an expense on the income statement each period to reflect the change on the balance sheet during the given period. That means amortization, it generally means writing off the initial cost of an asset. Amortization is done of an intangible asset. Like we charge depreciation for tangible asset, amortization transfer part of the value of the intangible asset from balance sheet to the income statement as a cost. Okay. Depreciation is done for tangible and amortization is done for intangible. Like depreciation, there are multiple methods a company can use to calculate an intangible asset amortization, but the simplest is the SLM. Okay, like depreciation, there are many methods: SLM, written down value method, WDV method, and there are many others also. Similarly, we have different methods for amortization also, but the simplest is the SLM, that is straight line method. Now, what are the advantages of amortization? The use of the amortization in firm is to reduce the tax burden. If an asset is in use, you can reduce the tax to be paid. That means amortization cost is charged in the P&L account. Okay, and ultimately, it will if it is charged in the P&L account, it will reduce the profit. Ultimately, if the profit is reduced, it will reduce our tax also. That's why amortization cost is recorded as an expense in the entity's books of account. Hence, lower profit leads to lesser taxes for the firm, and if there's a lesser tax, lower profit, then there are the lesser tax. It is a benefit for the entity. And another is it the investment is shown, or investment. I'm sorry, the intangible asset is shown at actual value. That is the correct value. Now, how to calculate the amortization of the intangible asset? Accounting of an intangible asset depends upon its useful life. That is, it is finite or indefinite. That means it is fixed number of years and it is finite. And no number is defined like how much time the asset will be used. There is no definite number, so that is indefinite. Intangible asset with finite useful life is amortized, while those with the indefinite useful life are not amortized. Indefinite useful life, that means a goodwill, it will go on till foreseeable future, so it will not be amortized, it will be impaired. The method for amortization selected should reflect the manner in which the future economic benefit of the asset are expected to be consumed. That means which method to use for amortization, it depends on the how the future economic benefit will flow to the entity. If the company cannot determine that pattern, then SLM will be used. Now, steps to calculate the amortization. For calculating amortization under SLM, we need three figures. First, we need the cost. Second, we need the residual value. Third, we need the useful life. What does cost of an asset means? It means the price that we paid to acquire the asset. Yeah. Second, what is the residual value? It's the scrap value. That means if asset is sold, then how much we'll get on that resale amount. That is the scrap amount after totally utilizing its useful life. Residual value is its scrap value, which is normally zero in case of intangible asset. Like, yeah, patent, copyright, if we'll resell that amount, then we'll do not get any residual value normally, so we assume the residual value as zero. The useful life of an intangible asset is a period over which the asset is expected to be available for use, means how long the company will use the asset, that is the useful life. The formula to calculate the amortization is cost of the asset minus residual value divided by useful life of the asset. Now, what is the journal entry for this? Amortization expense account debit to accumulated amortization account credit. Okay, amortization expense is an expense, that's why it is debited. Accumulated amortization is a we are accumulating that amortization, so it is credited. Now this accumulated amortization will be debited, and ultimately it will have effect on the asset account, because finally if we combine these both entry, our entry will be amortization expense to patent. That means amortization expense will be debited to P&L account. Okay, and the amount by which we are doing amortizing, so that will be reduced from the asset, so asset amount will be reduced, so that's why asset is credited. Let us see one example. Bharti Limited obtains a license with finite useful life of 10 years for $10 million. These rights are available for the next 10 years. Okay, Bharti Limited, it has obtained a license. It has a finite useful life of 10 years. It has obtained for $100 million. It will be available for next 10 years. After 10 years, we have to bid again for the license. Bharti Limited should recognize it as an intangible asset in its books and amortize it obviously for the 10 period of 10 years, because it will not remain same up to the 10 years. Like in depreciation, if we purchase the fixed asset, every year we keep on charging the depreciation, because the value of the asset keeps on deteriorating. Similarly, the same is the case with intangible asset also. So we have, but here we do not charge the depreciation, we charge the amortization. Okay, now the cost of the asset is $100 million, residual value is 0, useful life is 10 years, so 100 minus 0 divided by 10, this much is the amortization amount. What will be the entry? Amortization expense to accumulated amortization, because we keep on accumulating it. So with $10 million, accumulated amortization to patent $10 million. Amortization calculated as per SLM, it is booked as an expense under the income statement in balance sheet. Balance of accumulated amortization account, it will be increased, thereby reducing the net cost of an asset. Okay, now we'll see this through an Excel example. Micro Limited and Mini Limited. Micro Limited is a purchaser and Mini Limited is a subsidiary. Separate balance sheet items are inventory, trade receivables, cash and bank, equipments, intangible asset, investment. In liability side, share capital, retained earnings, trade payables, and long-term debt. Date of acquisition is on 1st January 2020, and balance sheet is given as on 31st December. That is at the start of the year we have made the acquisition. We have purchased 60% shares. Retained earning at the time of the acquisition is 20,000. That is retained earning at the end is given 50. So there will be 30,000 post. Fair value of the net asset of the subsidiary is 2 lakh at the time of acquisition, but on the balance sheet date, fair value reduced to 1 lakh 60,000. So there is an impairment loss. Amortization of intangible asset is undertaken at the rate 10%. Okay, we have to amortize our intangible, it is directly given 10%. Goods sold by subsidiary company to parent company. Here, now the goods are sold by subsidiary to parent. This is upstream transaction. Costing rupees 50,000 at 60,000. That means a 10,000 profit is earned by the subsidiary company now. So it will be reflected in subsidiaries profit and loss account. 50% unsold stock is still with the holding company. Okay, so we have, there's a adjustment of unrealized profit. First we'll see that adjustment. Unrealized stock costing 50,000, sold at rupees 60,000, so profit is rupees 10,000. 50% stock is unsold. Okay, so 60,000 into 50%, that is 30,000, still lies with the holding company. Now we'll calculate the profit. Cost, if the cost was 50,000 for the subsidiary, the sale price was 60,000. Now 30,000 is the sale price amount which is still unsold with the holding company. So we'll do the cross multiplication, we'll get the cost 25,000. Okay, so 5,000, 30 minus 25 is 5,000, is unrealized profit, which will have an effect on AOP and stock. That is AOP account debit to stock account credit. Why AOP account debit? Because this profit is included in the profit of the subsidiary company, and subsidiary profit is shown in the AOP. Okay, so we'll reduce it from there. And ultimately in stock also we have 30,000. We are now combining the stock of both the companies, so this 5,000 profit will be included in the stock, so we have to eliminate from that also. Okay, now we'll see the amortization of intangible adjustment. Okay, intangible asset value of both the companies is given 80,000 and 80,000. Okay, 10% is the amortization of intangible assets. So 80,000 into 10% is 8,000. 80,000 into 10% is 8,000. So we have been given net value is 70,000. This value will come in the balance sheet, and this 16,000 will be the expense, which will be coming in the reserves and surplus. So amortization expense account debit to intangible asset account credit. Okay, and now there was another adjustment also of the impairment of goodwill. Net asset of subsidiary was 2 lakh when we have made the acquisition, but afterward it reduced to 1 lakh 60,000. So 40,000 is the impairment loss because we must be showing the goodwill at a higher value. Now we have to do the impairment. It will be reduced from the goodwill. We'll be then we'll get the final net goodwill. So we'll do the goodwill calculation now. 2 lakh was the investment. 2 lakh investment. Share capital will be 1 lakh 60 into our percentage was 60, means our holding percentage was 60%. So 60% into 1 lakh 60 plus pre-profit directly come, it will come from the AOP. Okay, so first for that we have to make the AOP pre, post and total. Total is given 50,000, and pre-profits it was already given at the time 20,000. Okay, so 30,000 will be post. Here no other adjustment is given apart from the unrealized profit, which is included in the profits of the subsidiary, so we have to remove it from there. It's 5,000 was the unrealized profit. Okay, 5,000 we just remove it from the post. Why it is removed from the post? Because acquisition was done from the first Jan, and after that this adjustment was done by subsidiary to parent and the unrealized profit, so it belongs to the post period, so it will be reduced from the post. So total comes to 20 and 25,000. Holding percentage is 60 and minority will be 40, so it will be bifurcated among both holding and minority. 20,000 into point 0.6, 20,000 into point 0.4. Similarly, post profit also will be bifurcated between both holding and minority. Okay, now here we will see again how to do the investment. 2 lakh, share capital 1 lakh 60 into 60% was our shareholding, less pre-profit is 12,000. So our goodwill is 92,000. That means this much amount we have given, and we have received only 96 plus 12,000, that is 108,000. So 92,000 is our goodwill, but there's a goodwill impairment loss 40,000, so we'll reduce it from here. Now the net goodwill is 52,000. It comes in the asset side, 52,000 intangible asset. Okay, now we'll calculate the non-controlling interest. Share capital 1 lakh 60,000 into minority share is 40%, so 64,000. We'll just add the pre-profits. We'll also add the post-profits. So on NCI is 82,000. It comes in the liability side 82,000. Okay, now we'll calculate the retained earning consolidated. Retained earnings of holding company is 1 lakh. Okay, we'll just add the post share in our post profits, that is 15,000, less goodwill impairment loss. Why it will be reduced from here also from retained earnings? Because our goodwill is showing at a higher amount, so it will be reduced. Similarly, it will have effect on the our PNL also, so it will be reduced from the retained earnings because the PNL is clubbed in the retained earnings only. Okay, and amortization expense is debited in the PNL account, so we are reducing this amortization 16,000 also. So our net retained earnings are 59,000, retained earnings 59,000. Now we'll make the consolidated balance sheet. 80,000, we'll just add up both. 2 lakh minus 5,000 because in stock this unrealized profit is included, so we have to do the adjustment for that. Okay, rest we'll just add both the holding and subsidiary companies figures. 1 lakh 20 plus 1 lakh 60. Equipment also 70 plus 1 lakh. Intangible asset working note number 6 we have already calculated. 16,000 was total is 160. 10% was the intangibles amortization, so 160 into 10% 16. Finally net value of the intangible asset is 1,44,000. Okay. Investment we do not take in the consolidated balance sheet. Goodwill we have already calculated 52,000. So total of the asset side is 11,31,000. Share capital we only take of the holding company, we do not take the share capital of the subsidiary. Retained earnings, we have already done the calculation 59,000. NCI, we have already done the calculation 82,000. Trade payables, we just add up both the items 60 plus 40. And similarly, long term debt also, both items will be added. So 5,90,000. Total of the liability side is 11,31,000. And so is with the asset total. So our balance sheet is tallied. This is how the adjustment of amortization of intangible asset is done, along with some other small adjustments like unrealized stock and impairment of goodwill or impairment loss adjustment. If you have any further query, feel free to ask. Thank you.